Well, good evening everybody. Welcome back to Virtual Pool 4 Online. And it's Friday night 9-ball again, but it's also the same as last week where we have the start of the evening with Friday night 9-ball, and that will be for the first hour. And then at 8 o'clock, in just over an hour's time, we're going to have one more of the one-loss side matches in this year's Virtual 9-Ball World Championship, and it's going to be Mr. Fox against Mal255. Mal, who was one of the strong favourites, but who has ended up on that one-loss side, having been beaten by Cobra. And well, the two of them are going at it tonight in an hour's time, race to 13. In the meantime, Friday night 9-ball is maybe not going to have a full house tonight. Let's have a look. For the last 5-6 weeks at least, we've had a full house in Friday night 9-ball. And looking at it now, there's one seat remaining according to that, so there's a chance for somebody to get in. I think there's 15 in according to that, there's one spot left, so we'll see how it goes. Good evening to Miasma, good evening Semi-Pro. Well, got my new phone, trying to get my head round it. Does an awful lot more than I thought it would, that's one thing. And it's a lot bigger than I thought it was as well, that's another thing. Oh, you got your PC as well, so we'll both get toys to play with over the next few days. So, well, the bad news is, if anybody wants the bad news, is that Mal, his ambitions to be a politician have been a bit scuppered because he lost in the election. He wasn't elected today. That's the only detail I know, because that's all he's posted on Facebook, that he didn't get elected. So that's bad news for Mal, but that gives him all the more time to focus on his Virtual Pool 4. I went to try and, you know what I tried to do last night? I tried to download and install Virtual Pool 4 onto the phone, and I went to the, is it Google Play or whatever it is, and for some reason it wouldn't take my credit card, so I couldn't buy it, so I'm expecting to get a free copy from somebody. Virtual Pool 4 for Android. I don't know what the story with that is, maybe I inputted the wrong details, but I think it was £1 odd or something. Mal was up for election in the local elections. There's a lot of elections all over the UK today, and Mal's bad news is he didn't make it. So he didn't get elected. I don't know, honestly don't know whether he's Labour, Tory, Social Democrat, or whatever the hell they call themselves, or the Green Party, or any of them. Haven't a clue. Anyway, we are about a minute away from Friday night 9-ball. The event is now closed, it's now full. This must be an absolute all-time record. It must be about the last 2 months, I think it's been full. Somebody could be sad enough and go and check the tournaments, I can't be bothered, but it's been an awful lot of them, have all been full for the last few Friday nights, which is great. It's great to see. And so we're going to have coverage of whatever's the best looking match in the first round on Friday night 9-ball, and that may well take us the best part of an hour, 40 minutes or so. before the main event of the evening is coming along, which is going to be Mr. Fox and Mal. Well, if the way Mr. Fox played the other day, if he gets a good start, he can certainly put Mal under pressure and then see how he reacts. But Mal will still be in as favourite, no doubt about that. Well, you know something here, Pig. We could have we could have double the amount of parties. It wouldn't bother me in the slightest, because you'll not get me going to a bloody election, going to vote. I have not voted since the first Scottish independence referendum got blown out of the water. I never went to the second one, and I said I'd never go to any other elections. I'll never be in a polling booth ever again. Right, so we are after 7 PM. These rooms should be going up on my clock. We have gone past the hour, and I don't see any rooms going up yet. Well, there we go. Say no more. Well, there we are. There's the first round match we're going in to watch. It's Stubb against Spectre Dawn. Larry's playing Mooncake as well. But those are probably the standout matches in the first round. So we're going to nip in. That's the wrong room I'm going in. Hang on a minute. That's the wrong room I'm going in. Right, so Stubb's already in. Oh, I can't be bothered voting. I don't think I'll ever be in another voting. I'll never be out of the house for another election at any point in the future. It's a bit pointless if you're Scottish going to a national election, because you've got absolutely no chance of getting your way. It's all down to how the English vote. It doesn't matter how the Scots vote. We get dragged out of the European Union by the English. Scotland voted not to go, but we still get dragged along with them. So it's a pointless act, wasting your vote. Anyway, here we go. Friday night 9-ball, race to 7. It's handicapped, and lo and behold, player 2 is Spectre Dawn. He's getting the 8-ball, and Stubb won't be happy about that. Well, I don't know. Honestly, don't know how random this bracket is at times. I mean, it stands to reason, though, if you get the same people signing up for the same tournament every week, you're bound to get them clashing more often than not. I don't know what. I haven't a clue if it's getting to do with how soon you sign up for it. You know, whether you're third in the list or whether you're the last in. Whether that randomises it any different, I haven't the foggiest idea, and I doubt Steve knows either. But Spectre Dawn is going to have a good start, because the 8-ball has already gone, so he's had to run the table to win the first rack. Oh, started yawning already. Oh dear. Mind you, it could be the fact that a great big Chinese about an hour ago. Well, good evening. I'm not even going to attempt to say that name. All I'm hoping it is, it's not Fantastic Mr. Fox under a different name. That's all I'm hoping it is. I'm never going to remember that. I'm never going to remember to call you Tony with a name like V9BWC. I'm never going to remember that. Well, Stubb at the table, all wide open for him. And he should be out, although he's just made it a wee bit more awkward, pushing that 8 to the side rail. And that 8 now, I'll tell you, well, that 8 might as well be frozen because it is really tight. And so he's got trouble ahead. Now, a lot of travelling to do here for Stubb. Plenty of room though to get right around this table. But he's just going one rail and the pace is good. That was well played. But the problem is going to be from that 7 on to the 8. It's going to have to be good. He really just wants to be right on the rail if he can to give him his best shot, and I don't think he could have done much better than that because you get nothing to do with the cue ball other than just kill it and make sure he takes a nice straight line, and that will do. So Stubb back all square. Well, he's trying the Albinario break. Stubbs obviously been having a look at it and having a practice, but he didn't get that one to work. And what's more, he's come up dry and left a 1 on. Although the 4 ball is going to be tough to get to. That is well guarded by the 6 and the 8, so he ain't getting to that without moving something, I don't think. Well, the thing is, I mean, I've looked at enough of Albinario's breaks. He's going to get a dead one from time to time, but his strike rate is the most important thing. The strike rate in his matches, he's had at least half a dozen racks ran in probably all of his matches. And what does that tell you? That tells you to stick with it and go with it, and it will work. It's not just like he's had loads of good running. The break has had 1 or 2 duds in it, but more often than not has been a lot more successful than failure from that break. You only need to look at the stats on the break to see that from Albinario. I've just realised I could be watching the snooker at the moment. The senior snooker's on. It's on the iPlayer, and I went to watch last night. There's 2 matches on last night, and I went and had a cup of coffee, and I think I got distracted watching something on the TV, and I thought, oh, I better go back up the stairs. I want to watch. I want to get back to VP4 and I want to watch Stephen Hendry play. By the time I got back up the stair, got onto the iPlayer, Stephen Hendry had won his match 3-0. Never got a sniff of it, never got to see anything. I don't know who's playing tonight, but there's only 16 in it. It's only a best of 5. And the final will be on Sunday. Darren Morgan played quite well. He did the first frame of the day, but as soon as the tournament started, he had a century. I mean, admittedly, there's a lot of the players in it who are way past their best, but the likes of Ken Doherty, if he's still in it, Jimmy White, Stephen Hendry, they've all get fair chances of winning it. So, Spectre Dawn back in the lead and should be stretching that lead within the next minute or so. Fairly straightforward. Shouldn't be any issues. I think he's just gone a bit straight here. I don't know whether he can pinch enough to. No, he's just trying to. Yeah, he's just trying to spin it away from the 8. Just enough to work with there. So that 8-ball money ball came in handy there, and that 6-ball might go in. No, it hasn't. And the 1-ball, well, Stubbs going to have a go at that. I don't think there's much doubt. You know, it's the problem though is it's very tight, and the chances are, yeah, I don't think he fancied it. I think he done the right thing there. Looking at that, it was far too tight. The chances are that that 1-ball would just lock onto the 2. But he's played a reasonable safety, but Spectre Dawn fancies jumping over this. I don't think he's got much chance of it, but what do I know? I'm not convinced he can get to this. I think he's at a loss at an idea how to kick at it. I mean, I don't see a problem. It's a two-railer to kick the 1-ball. I mean, going 2 rails would make it easy. It's a bigger margin of error, and then results not bad at all. That was fine. He did the sensible thing. He contemplated doing something daft, and then common sense came to prevail, and he played the right shot. Whereas Stubb sees a sniff, goes for the big cut. Right, so we've got the 2-ball in the open there. The 3-ball, well, he's not going far enough in this 3. He's neither here nor there on it. He's going to have to draw off it, I think. I don't know whether he can risk going to the rail. And, well, he is going to the rail. And that's probably why he's missed it, because he's tried to cheat his way there. And I think he might have been better drawn off it into the open to get to that 4. So that's a mistake. And that's not a great safety from Spectre Dawn either. Well, now Stubb can put him in bother. I don't think he'll risk the bank. I think he'll look to run in. Well, I would expect him to run in behind the 4 and the 8. It's easy enough to do. Well, he's went for the bank. He's taking a risk and he's getting nothing out of it. Again, you've got to weigh up the pros and cons in taking on a bank. And he's got lucky. He's got the kick onto the 6 or onto the 4, which then kicked the 6 in, and I think the 8's gone as well. And now he's got the chance to run out. Don't let him ever tell you he doesn't get lucky. This needs to keep going. Again, the further it goes, the simpler it is to drop the 5 in. And the less you have to manoeuvre the cue ball just to get onto the 7. I mean, it shouldn't be a problem. Well, this could be a problem. This is a testy one. Played it dead weight. And it goes. And he's going to be back within one. Let's have a quick look at the bracket and see how things are doing early on. Of course, we've got another full house this week. Black Jagged 1-0 up against Snakes. I think Snakes has pissed out his head, by the way. Larry's... What's Larry? 4-1 up. Sergresh is what? 5-0 up. Goodness me, he's flying. DJ Redo and Jay Lee. Well, there's a surprise. How did Jay Lee get into this tournament? It's a bit late at night for him to be in. He's 4-1 up anyway. And Bankster is 4-1 up against Ice Age. Bab is 3-1 down to chase one around. And Christian is 2-2 with Jugai Bob. Right, there we are. Oh, I could very well believe that. Yeah. I could well believe that with the ratings, the way the ratings are working. So, Spectre Dawn back in control again. Just drop the 4 in. He doesn't want to be straight in the 5 though. He wants to have the... See where that 4 ball is? That's where he wants the cue ball. That would be perfect to pot that 5 and get a cross for the 6 into the same pocket. That's exactly what he's doing. Oh, don't forget though, Larry's. I think Larry last week Larry didn't last long in the tournament, and that takes a big chunk of his rating when he gets beaten by one of these guys that's getting 5 and out against him. So his rating goes down, or his 9-ball tournament rating goes down. It's only ever going to stay up and climb higher if you keep getting deep in the tournament and winning it. And it's going to come down less if you get beaten by somebody, like Spectre Dawn playing Stub. That's the only way it's going to come down slightly. It's going to come down in bigger chunks if you get beaten by somebody who's a lot lower down than you. Meanwhile, Spectre Dawn goes to 4-2 in the lead. And he's got the 7 ball, the 1 ball has gone. The 2 ball doesn't go. Again, he's not got the touch to get right nailed into that 5. And in his last match in the virtual 9-ball tournament, his soft touch shots are not that great. I noticed Spectre Dawn, which could very well be due to the fact that he might have his mouse set on a high setting. I don't know. But anyway, trying to tuck in behind the 6. Well, again, Stubbs got there, but he's not got close enough, so it's an easy jump. Problem though is with the distance and how much pace that you can inject into this 2 ball when you hit it from a jump shot, and it's usually not a great deal. Well, I think he might have spun that by mistake and he caught the edge of the 2. I don't think that's what he tried to do. I think he might have tried to bank that up the table and he's hit it wrong, because it's given Stubb a fair chance here. He can certainly pot the 4 and miss the 8 ball. And he'll do that if he draws off the 4 as well. He's taking the base of action. So welcome to everybody who's joining us. Quick reminder, we're here for the start of Friday Night 9-ball, and then we're heading over at 8 o'clock, which is in 40 minutes time. We're going to be joining the Mr. Fox match with Mal255. Race to 13. So the 6-9 combo to get one back for Stubb. Now I wonder if Stubb's given up on the Albinario break. Yes, he has. It didn't last long. He's got a 7 in the break though this time. And can he see that one ball? And the answer is no, so he's going to jump. Needs to just stop there. That gives him a good angle to, well, he can do two things. He can try and come out and play the 3 into the same pocket. He could come across but risk running into the 3 and play the 3 into the right middle. He needs to be careful with this. Yeah, he's missed it, so that will do it. Oh dear, dear, dear. Now I said earlier on in the lobby, with me getting this new fancy phone, this Samsung, what's it called again? I've totally forgotten what it's called. It's a Samsung something 7. Anyway, and that, bear in mind, I've had an old Samsung, which was so out of date. I was forced into getting a new one, and it's the first contract one I've had, but I've got no contacts on it, so I'm going to need you all to give me all your phone numbers so I can send you abusive texts, or else I will absolutely nobody to talk to in this phone. Well, this is another shot you don't want. You've just got to nail it sweet on that edge. And the problem with that is you're sacrificing what you're doing with the cue ball, because you've got not a lot of control other than pace with this shot. And the problem is that 9 ball is a blocker, and he's trying to get there, and he's made not a bad effort at it. I mean, he's at least got a shot, I think. And Sergresh is through against Miasma, 7-2. Presume he can cut that. Oh yes, he can get that. That was not a bad shot, that, by Stubb. I mean, it was not easy to get there, especially where the 9 ball's sitting. So, this 9 ball to square the match shouldn't be difficult. I think he'll stick with this break. Well, you never know, he might go back to Albinario's break yet, because he's come up dry this time. Although he's not left anything really on for Spectre Dawn. And the other problem here is Spectre Dawn can't see enough of that 1 ball to push it right, so he's having to push it left. But the problem is, this is the problem, he's left an easy billiard for Stubb. And that was always on because he couldn't get the one away from where it was. And well, he could have played the billiard. He's played the cut. Now he's looking to get into the gap so he can see the 2 from this one. Bankster wins against Ice Age, 7 racks to 2. Now, I think, yeah, he's fine. Just push through. Well, he's not pushed through. He's stunned. Now, see, the problem with this shot is he should have pushed through because he's going to try and still. Again, he's lucky that he didn't end up running into the 9. He managed to get there, but that's taking an unnecessary risk. It worked out. So, Stubb could be taking the lead now. And he's just got there. Similar shot to the last 9 ball in the previous rack. Pretty much identical with the look of it. But this will take him into the lead, I think, for the first time in a match that I can remember. And I can't remember that far back. So 5-4, and I think the 8 ball went in there, or something went in. The 8 ball's gone into the top pocket, but we've lost the 7 and the 8, and he's on the 1. This rack's over, provided he can get in the 2. He might run through just so he can push the 2 onto the 3. He may well have the room. Yep, he's fine. Now he's ended in the short side of the 4. Doesn't want to run too far into the table or he'll end up leaving this awkward. Well, I'll tell you the biggest problem that I think Mal has, and this is something that not many have maybe spotted, but it is obvious. Mal's biggest problem is that for 95% of his virtual pool time, he spends it playing AI players who don't necessarily think like a human. In fact, they nowhere near think like a human, and they don't have great strategy. A lot of the AI players, because it's. I mean, once you get to the really top end players in Virtual Pool 4 offline, they don't miss. But the difference is Mal's used to playing a lot of them. He's not used to playing a lot of humans. So there's a difference in it, although you might not think there is, but there is. He's so used to playing AI players. But the thing is that Mr. Fox will play into his hands as far as pace goes, because he likes to run around quite quick, and would be more prone for making errors because of that. So that may well work in Mal's favour. So we're back all square. I think there's a big difference between regularly playing AI players in this offline tournament stuff than actually playing a top-end Virtual Pool 4 player online. I think there's a huge difference. Well, let's put it another way, Semi-Pro. Maybe Mal's had his best match in the whole tournament. Maybe that was his best match that you've seen against Albie, because Albie's been burning red hot on the one-loss side since then. So we'll see. That's the great thing. That's the great thing that causes arguments and disagreements, is how everybody sees everybody's playing. I mean, this match could be totally different from what we're all thinking. I mean, I thought that Hairpig had not much of a chance against Albie the other night. Albie was playing. I thought Albie would rip him to shreds, and look what happened. I thought if Albie kept up the same form he had in his previous matches, Hairpig had no chance, and it was a lot closer than what we thought. Much, much closer, and probably a lot closer than Albinaria thought as well. So you can never ever count anything as certain. There's no such thing as a certainty. By the way, there's a channel on YouTube now that I discovered the other day there, and it shows movies now. Admittedly, most of them are crap, right? Most of them are not great films. But there is one on there that's completely free that I started watching the other day, and most of you haven't probably seen it. And it's called The Hustler. So that's like the predecessor to The Colour of Money with Paul Newman and what do you call him, Jackie Gleason, and also George C. Scott. And it's completely free on that movie channel on YouTube. Only saw the first 15 minutes of it, but even then, first 15 minutes are great. Where Minnesota Fats comes into the pool room. Some nice dialogue between him and Paul Newman. I think it was made in 1960 or 1961. Anyway, where are we now? 6-5 to Spectre Dawn. Bedhead's awoken. What was the name? I can't remember the name of that movie channel. Well, this is certainly not where he wants to be. I think that's a good guide though for actually cutting that 3-ball, that 9-ball where it's sitting. It gives a good line to play the cut, and he hasn't cut it enough though. Now we're 27 minutes away from the top of the hour. We've got Stubb trying to reverse bank onto the 7. Looks a good line to me. And the 4-ball staying reasonably adjacent to the corner pocket. So Stubb looking to take this to the final rack. Oh, that's a poor one. And Stubbs heading to the one-loss side, folks. He won't be happy. He will not be a happy chappy. And he's he's quit. He's hit the old Control-Alt-Delete. Oh, it's hilarious, so he is. Well, Larry has come through against Mooncake, 7 racks to 5. Is it worthwhile waiting 10 minutes in here, to be honest with you? I don't think it is. I think I'm just going to bail. I would think that that Stubb... well, put it this way, if Stubb comes back, then it's all over anyway, so it's neither here nor there whether we stay in the room or not. So let's have a look at the bracket, and we'll see that Black Jagged and Snakes, I mean, they're only at 4-2 in their match. Goodness knows what's happening there. Larry's waiting in the winner of that one. Obviously we know about the Stubb match. Sergeresh has gone through. We've got DJ Redo at 5-all with Jay Lee, or Samurai, or whatever else name he wants to go under. We've got Bankster already through. We've got Bav, who's 6-2 down against Chase One Around. And Christian and Jug-Eye Bob are at 5-all. Now, these matches are all taking longer simply for the simple, honest truth is, all of these guys are all struggling to put 2 and 3 balls together, which is why matches take a lot longer. Snakes probably can't pot anything at all because he's pissed. And in fact, to be honest with you, so is probably Boris. Boris is probably in his second bottle of wine. So you've got two guys seeing 30 sets of balls on the table, 2 cue balls, and they haven't a clue what they're doing. I'm willing to bet that's the case in that. Anyway, so Stubbs just going to let it time out, is he? Looks like it. Yeah, it looks like it. But I'm going in here for a laugh. Wait to have a look at this and see what's going on. Good evening. Welcome. What the hell's happened here? We've got Snakes. I mean, Snakes has probably fallen asleep in front of the PC. Boris probably fell asleep before he did, so neither of the two of them realise that they're both asleep. This is what's happened here. That's exactly what has happened. How's this for entertainment? Goodness me. I mean, how long did he sit there before he started moving the cue ball? I've got a funny feeling that these two guys are half cut. In fact, let me have a reminder. Yeah, that's right. Boris is. We'll get 2 drunk Germans playing each other on Friday night 9-ball. Show us the lobby chat. I didn't. Let me have a read at that. Did you quit the match for us? That's Larry trying to wind him up. And then I didn't play right and break was rigged. Oh dear. Yes, quit the match. I go loser side, no big deal. You're bloody right, you're going to the loser side. You scared, Larry. No, you're an asshole. Oh, Larry's on a rant tonight again. Oh, it's finally gone through the match. As has the match between Chase One Around and Bav. Chase One Around's 1-7-2. Right, what have we got now? Well, we've got Larry still waiting on the outcome of this match. We've got Spectre Dawn about to play Sergaresh. That should be quite a good match. We'll go and watch that as well. How long have we got? We've got 20 minutes. Well, we'll see some of it. We won't see all of it. But we'll leave these two guys to get on with it because they could be here for another hour yet. My keyboard hasn't been. My keyboard is thick with cigarette ash. If I tipped it upside down, there'd be like 4 packs worth of cigarettes fall out between the keys. It's absolutely filthy. As is all around my PC is filthy. Yeah, that was just a small selection of my mice. Yeah. And like I said, I had a lot more than that a few years ago. I actually then threw out some of them. But, you know, I gradually built them up again. Oh, there we go. What the hell happened there? I thought that was a 9-ball. I must be losing consciousness here because that was a 2-ball that went in. Or was it, what went in? Was it the 1? I'm getting myself confused here. Well, the good news is that because I gave up the cigarettes, the way I saw it was that I needed a new phone because this tiny old Samsung Galaxy, whatever model it was, a 530i or something like that, I can't remember the model number of it, but it's, you know, it was out of date when I bought it, and it can't be updated now. I can't even watch YouTube on it. That's how old it is. And so, you know, the money I was saving went to pay for my contract phone, which I'll now make most of my calls from it rather than a house phone. Plus, I can then text and everything on it. But as I say, I need numbers to text to. I need people to talk to. I've got nobody. Well, he's a bit straight. He's going to have to get this spinning. He's going to have to spin it and whirl it. Well, the whirl didn't work because he hit the point in the pocket there, and that's why he's went stone dead, almost behind the 9. He might be able to squeeze a bank out of this, so he possibly could. It's a bit dodgy looking. No, I don't think he likes it either. He had second thoughts. I think the problem is you couldn't get the cue ball away quick enough. There's a result through. Jay Lee has beaten DJ Redo 7-6. I'm willing to bet that Jay Lee is a forfeit in the not too distant future. I'll put £1 down on it. That's a good bank. That's going in all the way. It was a good banking pace. I've got a Samsung Galaxy. What the hell model number is this phone? It's a Galaxy 7 or something. It's a great big beast. Even if I look at it, I get into it by putting my thumb on it because I did the fingerprint thing. I also did the face recognition thing. Hang on a minute. It doesn't tell you on the phone. And what a doddle it is to fit this one into the PC. With that old Samsung phone I had, you had to download software from Samsung. But with the new ones, you don't have to bother. You just hook it up to the PC and that's it. So obviously transferring videos. In fact, I've got it hooked up. I've got it linked up to my YouTube account. So if I want to do a live stream direct from my phone, a Galaxy 7 something. I'm just trying to get in it. Hang on a minute. Right, that's me in. But as to where I find out what phone it is I've got, I haven't got a clue. Where the hell is it? I'm trying to work it out. Where's the settings thing in this? I'm looking for the cog thing. I can't see it. No, I give up. I can't find the cog. That's what I mean about having a new phone like this. It's actually navigating my way around the shit on it. I'm going to have to thin out some of these apps on it as well, because most of these apps are garbage. No, I can't find it. I can't even find... Oh, there it is. I finally found the settings thing. Now, there's a bit here that tells you about your phone, doesn't it? Something like that, about the phone. Galaxy A71, that's what it is. It's a Galaxy A71. Beautiful phone, by the way. And it's got a cracking screen on it. I mean, this is better than any PC monitor, this screen. Or any monitor I've ever had. It's excellent as far as that goes. And it's, it's still an Android phone. It's still, the same idea as the old phone I had. So navigating around it's not that bad. It's just getting used to the new things that are on it. But yeah, I'm going to try a live stream one day, direct from it straight to YouTube. Right, so Sergresh 2-0 up. Mind you, I forgot to mention Sergresh is getting a 7 ball as his extra money ball. Well, I phoned the Chinese tonight from my new phone and added them into my contacts. That's one of the most important things you must do whenever you get a new phone, is add your local Chinese phone number in it. Also added the local chippy in it as well. Got to get the priorities right here, by the way. So we are 11 minutes away, and I haven't seen whether Mal has came online. I haven't noticed if Mr. Fox has came online, or maybe he's already online, I don't know. Let's have a look. Let's have a look and see. Oh, we've got 70 in the lobby tonight, whereas yesterday morning there was 109 in Shooter's Pool. I just thought I'd mention that. Early on yesterday morning there was 109 people in the Shooter's Pool lobby. There was 125 online. Well, I'm looking in the rooms and I don't see... Well, I'm going down alphabetically, aren't I? I don't see Mr. Fox there, and I don't see Mal. So I don't see either of them. So they're either going to turn up or they're not going to turn up. We just have to wait and see. But anyway, Sergresh with a 3-0 lead, and it should be 4 in all honesty, because he's got to push this 4 down into the bottom corner pocket, get the cue ball out for the 5. He's overhit that. He's overhit it slightly. Just a bit too much juice. See, this is where it is punishing, where Spectre Don's playing somebody who can actually pot a ball now and again, and getting to the 7 ball is not going to be that difficult. And Spectre Don will be lucky. He'll be lucky if he gets a rack. If Spectre Don keeps getting a ball and a shot. He hasn't this time. Now, he may well play. In fact, now I forgot even the 2 was there, but there's a far-fetched combination shot for somebody. Could I come off the 1, billiarded the 2 onto the 3? That would have been ambitious. Yeah, the movie channel. No. This is on. This is a channel that's on YouTube, and the movies that are on it, they're all full movies. But having looked at the list of them, there's not a lot of great quality, which is obviously due to copyright reasons. But there's Hanny Calder is one of the Western movies that's on it, which is actually a movie that was on the TV not that long ago over here. That's where, what's her name, Raquel Welch plays the lead role in it, Hanny Calder. But there's also The Hustler on it, because it's worth going to that channel just to watch The Hustler more than anything else. But I can't remember the name of the bloody channel. Hang on a second, just give me 2 seconds. You know what it's called? It's called Flick Vault. F-L-I-C-K and then Vault, V-A-U-L-T. And that's on YouTube, and there's a few movies on it. As I say, there doesn't look to be a lot of great quality on it, but that's the one of the maybe a couple of quality films that are on it, The Hustler. So for anybody that hasn't seen The Hustler, I mean, obviously, you know, with it being a Paul Newman film and been made in 1960, it's got the romance in it. There has to be a woman in it, right? But if you ignore all of that part of it, the opening 10 minutes in it is brilliant. You know, when Minnesota Fats comes into the pool room, Minnesota will be in at 6 o'clock on the dot, and sure enough, in he comes, gets his jacket off, gets his hands washed, lights a cigarette, powders his hands, and then starts talking to Fast Eddie. Yeah, it's about 2.25 hours, but it's worth watching just for and even though it's in black and white, it doesn't matter that it's in black and white, because all they're doing is playing straight pull. But it's the dialogue, and it's Jackie Gleason's style. He's brilliant. Of course, he's going to be nothing like the real Minnesota Fats, but it's just Jackie Gleason being Jackie Gleason in this film. And it's still not one of Paul Newman's best films. I mean, Somebody Up There Likes Me is a better film than that. And again, there's probably a lot of you never seen that one. It's a brilliant film. And again, it was made in either the late 50s. I think it'd be the late 50s. Somebody Up There Likes Me is one that you would like to watch. And then, of course, one of his most famous films, and that's Cool Hand Luke. But he's been in a few good films. The Sting's a good film because it's him and Robert Redford and Robert Shaw in it as well. That's a good film. Nobody can eat 50 eggs. What we have here is a failure to communicate. I mean, I can remember lines out of films, films that I've loved and watched over the years. I can remember lines out of them. That's even sadder than having half a dozen different mice. Oh well, I mean, Hazard, you've got to go back a few years for some classic films. I mean, Good Will Hunting was what, the late 80s, was it? I mean, there's an awful lot of good films out there that you've never seen, simply because they're black and white, or simply because they're made in the 50s and 60s. There's some brilliant films, and you don't know what you're missing. You've got to go back in time to see some good films. I mean, how many have you seen have actually sat and watched, what do you call it, Midnight Cowboy? That is a brilliant film. An absolute classic. I mean, have you ever watched Some Like It Hot? That's a great film with Jack Lemmon and what do you call him? What's his name? Tony Curtis. Made in 1960? 61? No, tell a lie, 1959 I think it was. That's a good film. And of course, Marilyn Monroe's in it. It's worth it just for seeing her. Karate Kid, Jesus. I mean, I'll tell you, if you just go back to, like, if the furthest back you can go to watch a film is The Terminator, then you don't know what you're missing in films. Have any of you ever seen The Treasure of the Sierra Madre? There's another classic film with Humphrey Bogart in it. Brilliant film. And it's only when you watch films like that that you understand films like something like, for example, what film was it? The Mel Brooks film, Blazing Saddles. Mel Brooks' film Blazing Saddles, very controversial now. Obviously, it's not politically correct. But 12 Angry Men, there's another classic film. And it's just set basically in a sweaty room where there's 12 jurors in it and they're arguing about the guy's innocence. Brilliant film. There's another great film, the one with Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau. The Odd Couple, the original Odd Couple. To Kill a Mockingbird, another classic film, again about a guy's innocence. It is a courtroom drama with Gregory Peck. Brilliant film. All of these films are all brilliant. And it's just the fact that they've been made over 50 odd years ago, and a lot of younger people steer well clear of them, or never even thought to look at them. And they don't know what they're missing. But as I say, if you watch Blazing Saddles, and then you see a little scene in Blazing Saddles where the mayor, not the mayor, what do you call him? They're handing out badges. They're looking for villains to scare the townspeople. And he says to the Mexican guy, he says, "Here's your badge." And the guy replies, "Badges? We don't need no stinking badges." And it's only if you've saw The Treasure of the Sierra Madre that you understand why that joke is in Blazing Saddles. And if you've never seen The Treasure of Sierra Madre, you're none the wiser as to why he says that. But that's Mel Brooks paying homage to a classic film. So it is. Anyway, enough about films. Spectre Dawn's got work in his hands here. He's got a 3-9 combo if he can get there, but he's going to have to do some sort of good positional shot to get on the 2. He may well have to try and come up the table. I don't know what the angle's like in this one. No, this one ball's a bit awkward to leave a shot in the 2. Well, and Black Jagged is finally beating Snakes. Well, he's not going to get to a rail or a pocket. I quite enjoyed the thing, even though that was, you know, like what, the early 80s, was it? The thing with Kurt Russell. It was a scary film at its time. Well, there's a lot of the Norman Wisdom films are all on there. Now, Will Hayes gone back a bit with Moore Marriott and the other guy, what do you call him? Right, well, we're after 8 o'clock, so let's bail out here. I'm falling asleep here forgetting what's going on. Have we got a match on? Well, we've got 2 people in the room and we're just about to lag. We just made it there. All that talking about films there got me totally distracted. Well, something's gone awry here. Oh, I think we're all squared off now. So here we are. This is the Virtual 9-Ball World Champion. Well, that's the 2 worst lags of the tournament right there. Look at that. That was awful. I hope that's not a predecessor to what we're about to witness. It's race to 19. Mal's won the lag. He's got a 4-ball in the break. And, well, is he thinking of just trying to push this through and leave the cue ball behind the 6? He certainly is. That was a clever little shot. So we've got 1 going for Mr. Fox. We've got 2 going for Mal. We've got 3 going for Mal. I'm going to say 13-8 to Mal. Well, not a bad attempt there. Now Mal, is he going to take a risk here and break the 9 out and try and still have a shot in the 2? Yes, he is. And yes, he has. That's where you do take a risk when you get the first chance to get the split. You have to take that little bit of a risk. Well, I know that if somebody let it out the bag, that it really annoys somebody that you play slow, then what do you do when you go into a match against them? You play slow. You do anything to upset the rhythm. You do anything legal that frustrates them. And the more that they vent that annoyance, the better it is. But Mal is going to get off and running. Let's see where he breaks from. Moving up to the centre spot. Cue ball coming back up the table. But the break is dry. But he's got it safe. Because the 1 isn't cutting. It's beyond the halfway line. But there's a good chance to move this I don't know what he's doing here, to be honest with you. It looks as if he's trying to play the combo in the 9. But there is a good chance to get a half decent safety here, but it looks like it's all out for the 9. Oh, he's got second prize there. That was risky taking that on. Well, you know, as I said earlier, Albie sticks with it. Yes, he gets some dud breaks from it, but I think he's had far more success than duds. And as I said as well, the stats do prove that. As he's had at least half a dozen racks ran in each of those matches, and some of them had more. Well, Mr. Fox has his first real chance now to see if he's meaning business here. Now, again, the obvious safe route is straight through off the 3 onto the side rail and back out, but out far enough to make the 4 comfortable. Now again, got to leave this shortish on the 5. Go to the side rail but come out, and if you leave it shortish you'll get an angle to come back for the 6. That is just about there. He can stun this in. He's got a slight angle to stun it and still have a shot in the 6 like that. That's perfect. And that's why you have to think about your next shot every time. You think about the next one, how are you getting to the next ball? That is just going to hold up, is it? Well, it's now awkward. It's testy, but should be getting it. I mean, you can hit this hard, you're not going to scratch, but at least you're making sure the 6 is getting to the hole. Or whatever the hell ball it was. So the 7. So he's almost overcooked that. Just a bit too much beef in it. You don't want to be doing silly things like this. And then he's made a complete dud. There you go. Well, Cobra, I hope everybody reads that line of chat. The line of chat from Cobra there says, Fox has been playing good pool. And I rest my case, but it certainly was nothing due to what I said that completely jinxed Mr. Fox there. And he's made a complete arse of that, I'm afraid. That is unforgivable. As I said earlier in the other streams, you're at the stage in this tournament now where messing about, doing numpty things doesn't count. If there's an open table, you have a shot, the table must be ran. And if you can't do it, then you probably shouldn't still be in the tournament. That's basically where we're at now. Well, that was a choker if ever I've seen one. That's what that was. And that all came down from being careless on that last shot, getting to the 9 and overhitting it. And if you set yourself right, you don't do stupid things like that, and he's paid the price. But he's got a chance to redeem himself. And again, this is going to be the test, getting to this 7 ball. It all looks so easy. The 6 ball is fairly straight, and now if he draws it up and overhits it, he'll come into the table. He's going forward, and again, he's trying to take a liberty with the cue ball there. And once again, it's caused the mistake. He would have been better, probably. Now that's... You know, I'm against drawing for position, but when you've got a table like that, the draw for position's easy because you're going to overhit it and end up there and still have a shot in the 7. Or you're going to run into the 7. Maybe you don't want to, but it was probably safer than trying to go forward with spin, send that object ball offline and get yourself in trouble. So that is 2 racks that Mr. Fox has gifted to Mal. And he's going to be 3-0 down because of it. And, well, as I said, you simply can't do that now. It's a big boys game now. You can't do it, and the 9 ball's hanging, and the 1 ball's on, and this rack is over. It's 4-0. Well, already it is looking grim for Mr. Fox, because he's going to have to push the boat out even further and take more of a risk. And once again though, Mal has come up dry. Mr. Fox has a chance. The table is wide open and it has to be run. Now again, when you're playing this 2 ball, you should already be thinking those 2 shots ahead. You've got to get on the 3 ball in such a way that it's comfortable to get the cue ball out and over for that 4-7 combo. That's what you should be thinking. Now, he wants to miss the 8 ball inside the 8. If he wants to play it safe, he comes up the right side of the 8, and if again, he's chickened out a bit there. He needed to come further up the table. And now, again, the safest thing to do here is to go right rather than try to check this inside. You've got to go sort of that way. And, well, he's got it. Maybe the angle wasn't as much as I thought, but you don't want to have to put unnecessary English in the cue ball just to keep it in a certain line when there's an easier, roomier way to get there. But everything's from distance now. Well, he's going to get off the mark. Well, have I jinxed him saying that? No, I haven't. He's got 1. Needs a break and a shot right now to get back in the match. Breaking a shot, or a ball and a shot, I should say. Well, the balls are all moving very nicely indeed, but not one of them's moving near a pocket. And the ball ran up the top end of the table. Mal doesn't have a shot. I would assume he's going to play the push out. Could probably play the push out just to the right of the 3 ball. I mean, I think the problem with the push out is that there's not a lot of places you could put the cue ball where the incoming player's not going to have the chance to play a half-decent safety here, because there's good cover here. It's difficult to pick a point that's a good place to put the cue ball. It might be better to push a ball rather than well, he's gone all out for the bank. I don't know whether that's going to benefit him a great deal. But you know what I say, once you've committed yourself to do something like that, then it's all out for the win. And that's what he's decided. He's going to have to dig out another good one. This 3 ball has not got an awful lot of room, especially when it's blind. Well, that was another good one. A little nudge in the 7. 4 goes, no problem. Well, that was a commitment there to get the job done, and he deserves the run out from that point. Well, I would agree if I knew what that meant. Oh, we all know that. I think the word you're looking for is arsehole. I think that, but see, if you'd said that, we would all understand what you're talking about. Yeah. That's the phrase I would use. And another dry break, and, well, it's 5-1 to Mal. Mr. Fox has no shot. Well, if you pushed it here, you're in trouble because it's an easy safety. If you push it anywhere down here, Mal's going to see the one ball, he's going to cut it and pot it. If you push it here, you could still be in trouble. It's less likely he would take the pot on, so he's trying to lock up the 1 and the 2, and he may well be put back in here, unless Mal thinks he can come up with a better safety from this position. But he doesn't like it, so he's giving it back, and that was probably the right thing to do. This could go on a while. Well, it won't now. 2 balls in the open. But this is still an opportunity for Mr. Fox to put Mal in trouble here. He's got to have Mal in bother with this shot. I mean, he can easily bank the 1 and just send it into the middle of the table here and get the cue ball tucked down here and still have cover. And that is weak, I'm afraid. That is just a badly thought out safety in every aspect. He could have sent that 1 with a gentle bank off the rail to about that position in there where the cover is behind all of these balls and the cue ball down to here. And why he didn't see that shot, I don't know, because in the end, he's played a duff 1. The only thing there is Mal hasn't got on the 2. Well, I think another description of Stubb is, if there's such a word, he's a delusionist. Is that a proper word? If it isn't, it is now. He's a delusionist. He's deluding himself. And he deludes himself every time in these big tournaments into thinking he's going to win it. And he hasn't won one yet. He's deluding himself into thinking that the way he plays is going to win the match and win the tournament, and it hasn't yet. So he's still a delusionist. But as I said before this tournament started, this is his best chance of winning this tournament, the way it's set up. It's set up ideally for him to win it. But whether he can find that consistency all the way through this tournament, I have my doubts. Oh, this should be nasty. Mal will have Mr. Fox in trouble here in a minute. I mean, that's the easiest safety that you're going to play tonight. Although it's not difficult to hit because the guide is there, just about there, to come down and hit that. But you don't know where the hell they're going to end up. That's the problem. It could be stuck behind a 3. Well, he's hit again. He must think he's got X-ray vision to have seen that 2-ball, because once again it's a dire mistake by hitting the 3 and Mal with ball in hand, and the only thing that's going to cause a problem is the 9. It's just awkward where it is, but other than that, it's another gift of a chance for Mal. Same old, same old. It's a simple job. Oh, I think he's actually nudged that 9 even closer to the rail, I think. Yeah. But now he's going to be further away. He's going to be down about there. And this has just got to be hit nice. And it's another to Mal's tally. At least 3 of these on Mal's score are all gifts from Mr. Fox. At least 3 of them. So it's now 6-1. But once again, Mal's come up dry. I don't think Mal's adding a great deal to his racks run tally here, because he's a few dry breaks. But this match is all but over right now, unless Mr. Fox has the usual things happen in his favour. The first thing he has to rely on is Mal make mistakes. That's probably the least likely thing that's going to happen. The second thing is that if he does win a rack, he has to get a ball in a shot and he has to run out. But he has to do it more than once to turn this match into something half decent for himself. The other thing he also has to rely on is that he doesn't make unforced errors. I don't think that's a good bet either, because we've already seen far too many to suggest that he's going to live any further and go any longer in this tournament. What is he shipping out his shooter's pool? Well, what's this 4 and 5 doing? Well, that 4 and 5, I mean, it's just the fact that the 9 is there, but if you get the line in the 4 and the 5, you've got a combo when you get close to it. There's too much toxic in game. Well, that's not exactly where you want to be playing this combo, but at least it's straight enough. Just a little slight cut in the 4. And of course, no guarantee where the 4 was going, but he's still got a cut on it. He's going to run into the 6. And he's... Well, the best thing that would happen here is a double kiss in the 6, and the 6 goes square, either left or right, to give him a shot. Let's see what happens. Well, he's hit half the 6 ball. That's going to bounce and come into play. Good evening, Potman. You're a bit late to the party again. We're going to have to start clocking you in. Well, I've always found that if I meet any idiots, I stay well clear of them. I'm pretty good at that. The one thing's for sure, I'll only ever meet them once. I'll never meet them again in this game. Now, what does he do? Oh, he's got to go for the reverse bank, I think, and at least give it 2 shots. It's clutching at straws, but sometimes you don't have choices. Well, he's gone all out for the cut. He's got it. Yeah, I think Semi's been at the wine. He's typing with a slur. Well, Mr. Fox manages to get out. He's back. Well, I'm not going to say back with a bang, but he's back with 2. He's got 2 racks on the board, that's all I'm going to say. He's got a ball, he's got a 4, and the cue ball's coming down for the 1, but the 3 ball's blocking it. What about that for luck? And then he's got a 2-7 combo to follow. But he's going to have to get a 1-3 combo to start if he wants anything here. Yeah, I had a sort of I don't know what comes over Snakes, but I had a PM from him when I was away at my dinner, and it was worded along to the effect of, "You don't get paid for this or something, do you?" In fact, I half read it and then just shut it down. "You don't get paid for this or something," he said, and I thought, right, he's definitely on the drink, because I looked at the chat above and he's been waffling for like an hour. Yeah, he's blitzed out his head. And like I say, that's why that match between him and Black Jagged took so long, because Boris is probably on 2 or 3 days off or a fortnight off from his work, and he's probably on his 2nd or 3rd bottle of wine. So the 2 of them are playing pissed. So, Mr. Fox, hook behind the 6, what does he do? There's a 2-7 combo sitting there. And does he want to try getting this jump escape, or does he want to try locking something up? He's going for the jump escape. He's got it. He's not going to have a great deal of luck unless this keeps running. What the hell was that? There had a funny noise here. Was that my phone? Yeah, I don't know whether that was the sound to tell me it had been fully charged, because it's now saying 100%. Maybe it makes a noise when it's fully charged. I'm looking to see whether I've had a text or anything like that. That's unlikely. Bearing in mind I've got nobody that knows me on my contacts list or anything like that. I don't see anything on it, whatever it was. I think that's maybe all it was, just telling me it's fully charged. Right, I know what I'm going to do. I am going to mess about here and go on to iPlayer. That's what I'm going to do, and see if I can get a bit of the snooker. Where the hell's Google? Put in iPlayer. I-P-L-A-Y-E-R. Oh, I believe you can download the iPlayer app as well, but I won't bother. Right, now let's go for... where's the thing for the sport? Oh, Jimmy White must be playing, because it's his face that's on the screen. Jimmy White versus Tony Knowles and Igor Figueiredo against John Parrott. Got a TV licence? Yes, I do. There we are. Jimmy White is 2-0 up against Tony Knowles. I'll just put that right in front of me. Right. Oh, Tony Knowles still looks a handsome, cutie guy. So he does. I don't know my phone number, by the way. I've got it written down in a bit. Well, I've got a printout of it from that comes in the box with the phone. I've got the number written down on a card. So, back to the matter in hand. There's a possible comeback on here for Mr. Fox.
Friday sees 4 fabulous matches as it's time to complete the lineup for the quarter-finals of this year's seniors. This afternoon sees no fewer than 3 former world champions on display, and we start with a match.
What the hell's going on here? It's went back to the bloody beginning of the snooker.
In 1986 and 1997, Ken.
Well, it's now 7-3. What's Mal doing in the stream when he should be playing a match? I just noticed that there. Awkward cut here. Played it well. And misses the 8 and sitting perfect in the 5. And a nice little angle in this 5 just to stun down for the 6. So Mal runs out, 8-3. That little comeback by Mr. Fox has been snuffed out. Rack tilted slightly to the left, one's further left than the 5 ball. And a ball in the break. And a shot, and this rack's over. Well, this is the only way it's going to go wrong, running into the 9 and being able to get up the table. Is that the 4 ball that's up the top? I think it's the 4 ball that's up the top. Yeah, he's playing the draw off it. And it's worked out. It's worked out. Always an unknown as to what's actually going to happen, but it all worked out fine apart from the fact he's straight in the 4. There's that other match on Sunday though, isn't there? That's on at 8 o'clock, I think. I think that's what it is. Is it 8 o'clock? I can't remember now. Somebody will remind me. So, well, that was definitely a run out there from Mal. It's now 9-3. The balls all broke well, but none go in. And not a lot on here for Mr. Fox, because looking at this 1 ball from that end, he's got one shot obviously if he wants to try and pot it, and that's the cut into the middle. He's running into the 9, which might push him near the 2, but it depends on the pace. He may well have a shot in the 2 here. Well, I don't know whether he tried to play the safety or not there. I haven't a clue what he tried. But what he has done is given Mal another start. Cue ball brushes the 9. He misses a scratch. What's the deadline date for your match, Cobra? What's the day's date? I've totally lost track of days here. Is this the 9th or the 7th or what? We'll have a look at the bracket anyway. Once this is finished, and have a look at the stats. The deadline's the 9th. Right, well, we'll check that out. Well, the deadline's the 13th. That's still days away yet. Set it for Tuesday night. because that way I'm off my work and it doesn't matter what time you set it at. Plus it gives you more time to practice your Albinario break, Cobra, and Stubb could practice his as well. Mal's brushing into the 9, and that's worked out nice. Another run out. It's now double figures, it's 10-3. Now, I'm sure that Semi-Pro, if he's still awake, I think he called it 13-6. If I remember rightly, he won't be slow in telling me he did. I'm pretty certain he did. Or 13-5, was it? Well, there's still a possibility. But there won't be as long as Mal stays at the table. I'm in desperate need of a cup of coffee, I'll tell you that. Desperate. And I'm running low on water. I bet you Tony Knowles dyes his hair. He looks as if he does. He's got to be about 60 now, and he's definitely dyeing his hair. He's still the pin-up boy of snooker. And Mal is firing up. Well, maybe it just takes a wee bit of annoying Mal to get him to fire up, because it's worked well. And another ball in the break. Thin cut in the 1-2 ball. Well, that's a good shot, because that's just going to fall nicely for the 2. And he's just going to have to drop through, maybe with a wee bit of spin if he wants, just to check the cue ball, but he hasn't bothered. He's left it high. And now he just has to make sure he stays away from the 5 and the 7. And that wasn't a shot, I'm afraid, Mal. He had to avoid the 5 and 7. He's ran into the... Now what does he do? Go for the bank? Past the 7? No, he's just going for safety behind the 5 and 7, which again is a sensible shot. Because they're a big target and they cover a fair area, and it's an easy target to get into. Not a difficult kick to hit the 4, because just past the middle pocket on the left side and the long rail is going to be the line just to get to that 4. That there's no luck in that one. So Mal is going to be on the hill in a minute or 2. Again, he's just come out a wee bit further than he would have liked to. He would have liked that to be a wee bit further right. It would have made it more... Well, he's fine, because again, not going behind him, you can't see that he's got an easy enough line to play the stun. It looks as if the cue ball was running from this end. Well, I think Mal's picked up, he's warmed up towards the end of this match. He's been very solid these last 4 or 5 racks. And now, just one away. And that 2 ball's going to track in. He's got no shot this time on the 1. You can see the edge of it. And he'll probably have to jump there to get to it. But he's just looking to get as far away from the 1 as possible. Now is he jumping to the end rail? No, he's just playing the push out. Now, you notice something about VP4. If any of you guys noticed it, as a spectator, you don't know that the guy's played a push other than you're watching the game and you see him playing a ball that he shouldn't be playing, or you see him pushing to an empty space. It doesn't come up and tell you he's going to push. It tells you he's pushed after he's pushed. You know what I mean? That's when it comes up on the screen. It doesn't tell you he's actually, you only see he's played a push because you're watching it. It then comes up saying push out after he's played it. What did I say earlier? I've just read the chat there. What did I say earlier, Semi? Looks as if he's going long to try and stun into the gap. Yeah, he's found the gap. A fairly tight space and a nice gentle 4-ball. And, well, this match is pretty much done and dusted. It's over. And time for a little brush in the 7 just to bring it off the rail. Well, we'll have an update on the bracket and see exactly where we stand. Yeah, that's what, about 7 racks in a row for Mal, is it? It feels like it. It can't be far off it. So Mal is the comfortable winner in the end. A wee bit of a slow start, but he came good. And he's won the match by 13 racks to 3. On paper it just looks like a blitz, but it took a wee while to warm up. But he's got there. And now, if we look at the bracket, we can see that... oh, that's the wrong bloody bracket I'm in. This is Friday Night 9-ball I'm in. Hang on a minute. There's this thing. That's better. I forgot we're still in the Friday Night 9-ball one. Right. There's the match there that has just completed. And we've got Mal through. And he's waiting on the winner of the Albinario Spectre Dawn match, which is going to be Sunday at 7:30. And the deadline day is May the 11th for that match. Or is it May the 13th? Let me have a look. Oh, it's May the 13th is the deadline for that match, so they've got plenty of time. Real Poland Power and Cobra have got until the 13th as well, so there's plenty of time. Back to event. Oh, we're looking at the stats now, aren't we? What was I looking at? 9-ball stats, racks ran. Well, Mal has now jumped up to 30, and Albinario is out in front in 39, Colburn 33, Stubb in 30, and Mal on 30. And I think out of the ones that are left in the tournament, Spectre Dawn is on 19. Is that about right? How many's left? Yeah, because all we've got is Mal, Albinario, Spectre Dawn, and Stubb and Cobra. isn't it? That's all we've got. So anyway, well, like I say, I don't know when you're trying to arrange to play this, but there's still plenty of time to get it done. So that is that. So now we want to get back to the Friday night 9-ball bracket if I can find it. I don't think I'm going to find it. Let me try that. That'll probably get me there better. Right. So while we've been watching that match, we've got Mooncake playing Stub, and it's 1-0 to Stub. We'll go in and watch that on the one-loss side. So I have a question for you, Mal. What was you standing as? Was you standing as an independent, member of the Green Party, Labour, Conservative, UKIP, or whatever the hell they are now? Mooncake should be all square here. No reason why it shouldn't be. So, of course, we're only a race to 4 on the one-loss side. Not a much room for manoeuvre. What's happening in the winner's side, more to the point? Let's have a quick look at that. We've got Larry playing Sergeresh at the moment. Larry's, I think, 3-1 up. I think that's what it says. We've got Bankster 6. Is that 6-5 up against Jug-Eye Bob? Or Zhugi Bob? Well, that was a big attempt to get near the 3. You can actually still cut this, believe it or not, but it's thin. That's a good shot. Apart from the fact he's going to have to do something similar in the 4. But the cue ball's going to come out and he's going to have a cut down the rail for the 5 and he'll be on the 6. He should be out, even though this is a tricky start. He's actually not. Well, he's just got enough angle. He's just got enough now. He can probably just get between the 8 and 9. That will do it. Now, of course, the obvious thing is you go nowhere near the 8 ball. A result in from the one-loss side. Christian has beaten Black Jagged 4-0. Boris will be on his 4th bottle of wine now, so he won't care. Oh, right, is this Figueiredo guy come on? I don't know who won between, somebody can tell me, even though I'm watching it. I've got it on in the iPlayer in the background here on my phone. I have not got a clue. As to what happened in the first match. Whether Tony Knowles won it or Jimmy White won it. Bearing in mind when I was watching it, Tony Knowles seemed to have won it that was at the table, so I don't know whether he won it or not. I wonder if downloading this iPlayer app maybe plays better on the phone because of it. Or whether it's just a load of crap that they want to stick on your phone. Oh, White won it, did he? Right. He must have won it 3-0 then, because it didn't seem to last that long. Well, Stubb looks as if he's hotting up. Simple enough 9-ball, little cut back, but shouldn't be any major disaster here. So, one more, ball in the break. Now, has he got a shot? Oh, where's... Oh, that 9-ball's just blocking it. Look at that. I mean, he was out. He was out if he could get to the one, and the 9-ball just came to Mooncake's rescue there. And Mooncake's been left... sorry, not Mooncake. Stubb has been left to bank. No, Mooncake's been left to bank. What the hell's happening here? I think it's because I'm in dire need of some caffeine and I'm falling asleep. I think that's partly... Well, that's mostly to blame. It's always the same. Where's this 1-ball going? Well, that 1-ball was going in, and look what the hell that... I mean, there's Stubb, the unluckiest player in Virtual Pool 4. Look at that shot. The 1-ball was going in, it gets stopped up, and the cue ball nudges behind the 7. What a jammy git he is. Well, Mooncake thinks he can get there with this. He needs to jack up higher than that. No, he doesn't. He knows what he's doing. I don't. He's managed to get the hit. Now, this cue ball might be able to just skid past the 9, not the 9, the 5. That's not a bad outcome as well. Snakes has been muted for 20 minutes because Oida. What does Oida mean? Or am I just blind? I can't read that. This is absolutely bolt straight in the one. Trying to pinch an angle, and he's got there. It's a good shot. Okay, he's the wrong side of the 3, but at least he'd got a pot. mean, this will still not stop him going for the cut. The run into the 9 has done him a big favour. It leaves him nicely on the 5. Just back out into the table. Good evening to Vambo. And so Stubb is through comfortably. 4 racks to 1. Well, he said with the commentator's curse. Stubb doing his best to put his foot in it. And that's what happens when you get careless. And that could let Mooncake back into this match, believe it or not. That is just sloppy and careless. That was the name of those solicitors again. I couldn't remember who the third one was. But anyway, Mooncake's got the break. And Stubb could pay the price dearly here for that sloppy shot. Mooncake's got a ball in the break. He's got a nudge with the 2 onto the 1, and he's got a shot on the 1. The problem lies up table though. Well, he doesn't really want to be playing a 4-5 combo like that. But if he can get good in this 3, he can maybe just try. I don't know whether he wants to try and leave the cue ball high like that and still be able to make the cut in that 4. But we'll find out in a second. He could run forward and come off the side rail and short rail and run into them, but he's trying to leave it higher. I think he can get to it, but obviously he's going to run in the 5. He wants to make sure the cue ball comes off the rail somewhere and gets into the table. Well, he's tried to nurse it in, and that was always risky, and that's his chance gone. He should have made, the first thing you make sure of is that you know that you're going to pot the 4. The rest of it you have to ride your luck a wee bit, but the cue ball had to come off that top rail and into the table so that he was far enough away for the 5 to at least see it and get a shot at it. And it didn't work out. He tried to nursemaid it into the hole and it didn't get there, and that's him lost his chance. And Stubb is through eventually, but by 4 racks to 2 when it should have been 4-1. Right, so now quick look back at the bracket, and we see that Larry is now, what the hell's the score there? It's 5-2 to Larry. Bankster's already through, waiting on the result of that match with Larry and Sergaresh. And Stubb and Jugai Bob. Well, Jugai Bob and the one lost side's waiting for the winner of Spectre Dawn and Christian will be getting a stack against him. It is, well, it's 3-1 to Spectre Dawn at the moment. So we'll let that match carry on. We'll move in and we'll see the remainder of the Larry match. And you know what I'm going to do? I am going to go and get a coffee on. That's what I'm going to do. Right. Good evening to Mooncake. So Larry Well, I will do after this match. We'll wait till this is finished, then I'll go and get a coffee. Try and stay awake here. See, I would already have shot this 9-ball. You know, there's taking your time, and then there's overstaying your welcome. I would have played that a little while ago. So Larry 6-2 up. Oh dear. My keyboard is acting up. Going to leave and come back. Seven balls going in as well. And I don't think that's too bad on the one. That's not a bad break. Now, again, we can see there's a problem ahead. Excuse me, I've had a drink of water now, I've got the hiccups again. He's trying to actually nudge this 8 and sit 9 at the moment. That's what he's trying. See, taking a big risk doing that. He would have liked that cue ball to have ran up the table and had a shot in the 5 this way. But it looks as if he's going for the big cut. Yes, they do. They've got like you know, they've got like a scroll wheel function, and maybe a third button and something like that you can configure stuff to. Yeah, but they're absolutely no good. But you're asking the wrong person. Now, Spectre Dawn has gone through against Christian. 4-2. Now here's the big problem for Sergaresh. Now, this 8-ball, if you can get to there, you can pot the 8. But in doing that, you've got to go down the table and up to go on the 9. You can't try and baby it along the rail for the 8. Well, he's overhit that by a country mile. Does that squeeze in behind? Yes, it does. No, he hasn't overhit it. He's actually played it pretty damn well. I did not think that went past the 9. It just goes. Now you've got to go with it and go through behind it. I think he's trying to come back. That could make him miss this. Well, in the end, I don't know what he tried there. Tell me he tried the snooker, because Larry's going to be able to just brush that in, I think. So I don't know what Sergaresh had an idea doing there. But he should have followed that 8-ball in and went behind the 9 to make sure he was going to pot it. In the end, he kind of half-heartedly tried something and it didn't work, and he's now over the one-loss side because of it. It's now 7-2 that takes Larry through, and Larry is now going to play Bankster. and he's going to be getting what, a couple of balls anyway, I would think. I can't quite see what it says. He's getting a 6 ball. Well, that's not bad. So Larry's giving back to the 6 ball. Stubbs playing Sergaresh now. Sergaresh is getting a 6 ball. Spectre Dawn's now set up to play Zhugai Bob. And well, we need to go in from the lobby. Hang on a minute. We'll see if Bankster can get the use of this 6 ball. Maybe they're lagging, that's why I can't get in the room. And it looks as if Larry has just won the lag. Bankster getting the 6 ball. And Larry breaking off. And I'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'm just going to put the kettle on and get a coffee. Right, I'm back. I've got my coffee. Now, I'm going to apologise straight away to anybody who's still awake listening to this. I am not going to mute my mic while I'm taking a drink of coffee, because listening to the playback of the stream, when I mute my mic, it makes a dud clicking noise on the stream anyway. So, what would you rather have, a dud clicking noise or me slurping my coffee? So where have we got to? We've got Larry 2-0 up and about to be 3-0 up here by the look of it. Because you still haven't optimised the setup, Hugh. What's happened here? Larry's trying to scratch and is spinning the cue ball's taking it out. Well, the only sort of saving grace here for Larry is that Bankster's got to pot 3 balls because the 6 ball has gone. Because you still haven't optimised the set. I don't know what the hell Miasma's talking about. And Bankster looks as if he's going to punish Larry for that. I don't know what you're talking about, Miasma. I'm not, bear in mind I'm half asleep, so I'm not quite on your wavelength tonight, I'm afraid. There's nothing wrong with the mic settings. The mic's as good as it's ever going to be. Now, Bankster stole the rack off Larry, but in all honesty it was gifted as a chance to Bankster with that scratch by Larry. Well, it always clicks. Even every set of headphones I've ever had, I've always made that kind of dull dud noise when you click the mute switch. Because suddenly the audio is there and then suddenly it isn't, and I've yet to ever have a set of headphones that have had like a soft mute. So we can see again where the issue lies here. It's about dealing with it. Now, I don't know what Larry's idea was, but this isn't it. But you can certainly use that 7 ball as a stopper, and the only risk is a scratch if he's running for cover. That's the only risk, is actually scratching the cue ball. He's running into the 9, but the 9 is doing him a favour, and he's got to where he wanted to be. And now Bankster has a problem, because there's obviously no way to get to the 4 that way, so it's pointless looking at it up there. He's got to go just before, I think, just before the centre rail, centre pocket, somewhere like that, and maybe like that, along that sort of line. Yeah, he hasn't, again, he hit that far too hard to let the cue ball actually do something there. But the line was sort of along that sort of line, maybe not strictly accurate, but the line was definitely there to get to that 4 ball. And now it's Larry with the free go. He's gone dead straight in the 6, so he can only come back the way. And now the thing is, he could go inside, he could go below the 8 ball. He's actually trying to draw it and kill it. You see, that's why he's missed it. If he had just run that plain ball, he would have potted the 7, the cue ball would have went to there and come to here, and he could have the 8 in the middle. He tried to do the more controlling shot, which in one respect is the right thing to do, but in the other respect it's so bloody tough to actually to get a good hold of it and play it right. And that's what's now given Baxter another shot here. Oh, okay, the 8 ball is not easy, and it never was going to be easy, but Larry is going to have a similar decision to make here. Does he go for the cut, or does the bank goes in every day, this bank? But he has to think about the cue ball, so the chances are he may well line up. You know, he's going for it, he's got the cue ball running, the cue ball needs to get out of the way though. And Baxter should be all square here. So all of a sudden this has just got untidy as far as Larry's concerned. And it is 2 racks all. And that's all without the aid of the 6 ball money ball. That hasn't come into the equation at all so far. But Baxter can't get a ball on the break. And Larry's certainly got no shot. You know, a straight push out up the table will do. Baxter might put him back in, because obviously the 1 doesn't go, but he could put him back in. I think I would probably do it. I don't know whether, see, this would maybe have Larry trying to push the 1 through, rest the cue ball to the 4 and use the 8 ball as a blocker. There's that possibility. If there's enough room to get the 1 past the 8, yes there is. Well, Larry's tried it. He hasn't quite got there. Oh, that coffee's lovely. I was in desperate need of that. And that's not a bad effort there by Baxter. He's got the cover. It's not difficult for Larry to hit, I don't think. Because even where the 3 ball is, I think he can spin around the 3, get to the end rail and still kick the 1. I think if he jacks up, he can do that. Yeah, that's what he's going for. He's got plenty of room to get there. He just doesn't want to play it too good, and that is not a bad attempt. Okay, he's left the 1 on, but it just forces Baxter into trying to run this table to the 6 ball. And Spectre Don marches on, makes short work of Yugi Bob. Oh, I don't know what the hell's happened to Baxter there. He's made a complete hash of that. He's hit it entirely on the wrong side and just banked it back up the table. Oh, he's taken his eye right off the ball there. I mean, the table was perfect for him, apart from the 5. And, well, it's nothing easy left for Larry. In fact, Larry could just bank the 2 up the table and lock up the cue ball here if he wants. If he doesn't want to take the risk, if he thinks it's worthwhile waiting and a better chance. Well, he's went for the cut. He's overdone it. And Baxter gets another go. Well, that needs to keep going. Well, he's pushed the 8 and locked it. Well, everything was going fine there with the pace that was in the cue ball. He was going to leave himself a shot in the 4 until he brushed the 8. And that's twice in this rack already that Baxter has found a way to get himself out of line and not be able to run out. And that's the difference, you know, between a player who's around 1900 odd and somebody of a higher standard who'd be able to deal with situations. The lower rated players are generally lower rated for a reason, and the reason is that, you know, they've got an open table pretty much, and they find it difficult to find their way to that next ball without getting into some unforced mistake and failing to get the job done. Meanwhile, Stubb has come through a nail biter, I presume, against Sergaresh. Gone to the final rack. Now tell a lie, was it the final rack? Yes, it was. My eyes are playing up as well at this time of night. 4 racks to 3. Yeah, Stubb scraping through. And meanwhile, Larry back in the lead by 3 racks to 2. And I don't think anything's going for him. Well, he went all out for the cut there. I actually saw a safety there. The safety there was to push that to that 1 ball that way, so it went there. But the cue ball went that way, and then down to here. That's a good cut by Larry. Although again, you know, having made the difficult cut, there's no actual guarantee you're in full control to get good in the next ball, so Larry's having to constantly dig himself out a hole. That needs to go around the angles and get up, and it has done. How does that look from there? Well, he might have to... I don't know whether he wants to draw off this or try and spin past that 5. Yeah, it's a bit tightish. He's brushed the 5. He's got away with it. It was always dangerous that he was going to come into some sort of collision with a 5 ball. Oh, right. Now, this is where he has to take a risk. He wants to hit that 7 ball, half ball, either side. Or he wants to get in the gap and chip the 6, but he has to obviously move something, but he just doesn't know how it's going to end up. That's perfect. He had to chip the 6, and the 7 ball did the trick there by just holding the cue ball from running away, so that's worked out nice. And Larry looking to open up that gap, just keep that breathing space between himself and Bankster. Well, that wasn't a very exciting break. I mean, the balls moved, but they didn't have a lot of roll on them, and nothing went in. Again, I don't think Larry's going to be too worried. I don't think Larry will be thinking that Bankster can get this done to the 6 ball. Straight away there's a problem here. He couldn't see the 2. And now Larry can put Bankster in trouble. If he can just push that 2 so that it goes up towards the 5, the 6 and the 7, he can bring the cue ball back towards the 9. I mean, he could go for some half-hearted bank. Well, he's trying to put the cue ball up to where the 5, 6 and 7 is, and he hasn't got the cover. Had he come back the way, there was a line of balls like the 5, 6 and 7 and the 9 if he had the cue ball down at the bottom end. And meanwhile, Bankster's played a nice cut in the 2. Right, that's the slipping over. The coffee has been consumed, and let's hope the after effects do the trick. That little injection of caffeine, well, not a little injection, a rather large injection of caffeine, it has to be said. And again, Larry's the one that's found himself in a spot. Now this is where it gets dangerous, because now if Larry makes the mistake, i.e. leaves a shot on for Bankster, then it's not that difficult for Bankster to run just the 4, the 5 and then the 6. And he's going to be having half a chance at it. That 4 ball's just gone to no man's land. But if he can get the pot in the 4, he'll be really unlucky if he can't see the 5. That's a good shot. Excellent shot. Now, whatever you do here, make sure you leave yourself half decent on this 6. And that'll be decent enough. That's dead straight. And that's what happens when the better player, when the higher rated player makes an error or gets out of shape, when it's down to the sort of nitty gritty in the rack. 9 balls going in the break. No, in fact, it wasn't the 9 ball, it was the cue ball that went. As I said, that last rack there was a perfect example of where Larry got himself out of shape, got blocked in the 4, didn't get it completely safe, and Bankster just had to pot the 3 balls to win the rack. That's how a match like this can turn on its head very quickly. But Larry has again come a cropper in terms of getting near the 2. Ran into the jaws of the middle pocket and trying to use that 9 and 6 for cover. And well, that 2 ball will go past the 3. You've got to make the cut so that it's just going to the rail and it's still thin enough that it will go in. Well, he had the right idea, he just didn't hit it. I presume he's playing for the safety. Well, Larry's going to jump that. Is he going to keep it in the table though? And the answer to that is no. The two of them jumped into the corner pocket. So again, Bankster has a chance, but this time he's got more work to do. He's got to pot the 3, which he should have no problem with. He's got the 4, which again he should have no problem with as long as he just comes up the table far enough. So there's not a lot of thinking needed here. Just run through to here and have a shot in the 4 so that he can pot the 4, come off the rail and come up here for the 5. Or preferably somewhere there for the 5 so he can cut it and be able to get a shot in the 6. Well, what's that? Is that the 8? I thought that was the 4 up the table. Well, that's even better. Well, the coffee hasn't done anything for my vision. I'm still half asleep. But all of a sudden it's 4 racks all. And now this time, Baxter's got a ball to break. The 3 ball has gone. He's on the 1, and a nice dinky little 1, not too hard. because he didn't want to squirt behind the 8 ball or anything. And again, a delicate little 2. He wants to just come around the corner. You'll pot the 2, let the cue ball do its thing and get to sort of there for that 4 in the middle. And if he gets a right angle to 4, he can run the cue ball down to there and take the 5 into the other middle. He's the wrong side of the 4. Alright. Just the wrong side. And he's going to be near this. I don't know whether he can avoid the 8 ball. It looks as if he's going to clatter into it unless he tries to take evasive action. Well, he's trying to create something there. He's trying to create a bank. I don't think that was a shot. I think he should have actually potted the 4. Even if he'd ran into the 8, he still would have a chance at playing a decent safety up table here. But he's actually got away with it because he didn't leave Larry a shot, so he's had his bit of luck. Now a thin edge on this 4. Well, that's one way of doing it. Still gets the cover. Had to get the pace in that right, or that 4 ball was going to come right out into the wide open. But in the end, he played it well. But Larry, oh, well, how about that? Larry almost got the kick, and then the cue ball decided just to pop along and help the 4 ball in. And it's going to have to be an attempt to jump bank on the 9. He's played it well. That was excellent, and I think he's going to be okay in the 6. Well, this will be a good one to take out for Larry. With the jump bank on the 9 ball, the 5 ball, sorry. Well, he's running and running and running in this one. He needs to just slow up. This is another testy one, the old blind pocket cut. He's played that well, and it's just a simple roll in the 8. Let's have a quick look at the bracket, see how things are going while Larry finishes that rack. We've got Stubb playing Spectre Dawn, and it's 1 rack all on that 1 loss side. Meanwhile, Larry back into the lead, 5 racks to 4. Ball in the break. And half a shot in the 1. Now, does he want to risk running into this 7, 6 and 9 here? I don't think there's a great deal of ways that he can avoid it. He's tried to stun across and play a bank and avoid running into them to get to the 3. In actual fact, it was not a bad shot, because he's got himself nice in the 3. Didn't quite read the line for the bank. And once again, Baxter's got a shot in the 1. Oh, semi-pros come back to life. Well, Baxter's going to have to bail out this time. That's a good shot. Nice solid pot. But again, can he get the 4 and go on the 5? And how's he going to see this 6 ball? Well, the truth is he's not going to see the 6 ball. But he has to be able to get something of it to at least hit it. He needs to be wary. He could take a big risk here in trying to nudge something and still have a shot in the 5. But it is a very big risk. Well, I don't think he has done there. But now he's got the angle. He might be hampered over this 8, but he's got the angle to pot that 5, and he needs a bit of helping spin maybe to come down so he can at least see the 6. Well, does he think he can pot this 6? You know something? I don't think he's far off it. He can pot it. That was excellent. He's just got there and no more. Oh dear, no he can't. He spun it into the 7. Right, well, what's happening there? We've got Stubb is forfeited again. Well, what the hell's happened with Stubb there? It looks as if Stubb's done a runner. Oh dear, you've got to laugh. You've got to laugh, really, haven't you? What's Larry trying to do here? I mean, this match is just not... It's taken a nasty turn if you're in Larry's corner, because he's finding ways to get himself in trouble. He's played a kick and he's got it safe. Well, safe-ish. It is still a good bank, this 8-ball. The reverse bank, up table and down table if it doesn't go first time. It is a good bank. But you don't want to hit this too hard. You've got to hit it firm, but not too hard. That's a good shot. Now again, the problem is, you've got to think about the cue ball. And he's in the same boat here. This is not a set bank. But he may well double bank it with this line. It looks a reasonable line for a possible double bank. No, he's hit it too hard and his chance is gone. So Larry gets out of jail. And now 1 away with the break. Well, this tournament's moving on at a fair pace tonight. What's happening this side of the bracket? I haven't really paid a great deal of attention. I mean, this is the hot seat match, isn't it? Yes, it is. So, Spectre Dawn's waiting for the loser of this match to come over there, so at the moment it could still be anyway, but the favourite to end up over there is Bankster. You know, if that was me though, there has to be probably a 48 hour or a 72 hour kick. The other problem there is miasma is when Stubbs going to play his match in the virtual 9-ball. Which when is it? When is it they're set to play again? I've totally forgotten. Oh no, they haven't set the match yet. That's right enough. What am I thinking about? Aye, they've not set anything yet. It's Albinaria that's playing, that's what I forgot. They're playing... what the hell night's that? I'm losing tracks of days of the week here. What date is this? This is the 7th. So that's Sunday night that Albinario and Spectre Dawn are playing, and the other one hasn't been arranged. I'm getting so tired, I'm losing tracks of days and times and all sorts. Anyway, where are we? We've got Bankster at the table. Now if he can get... That needs to keep running, it's got to keep going. It ain't going to get there, I don't think, is it? Oh, he has done. Wouldn't you know it? He's just got there and no more. Well, up the table, but not too hard is a rule of thumb here. Well, he's trying to hold it for the middle pocket. Now he's in that dreaded line. I mean, it's not a difficult pot, but you've got to be committed and play the shot. He's got it, and that's where that 6 ball money ball comes in very handy. And it's 6-5, and this isn't over yet. Well, that just seemed a much softer break, and nothing has gone. And Larry has a thin cut to start him off in the 1 ball. And in fact, it might be so thin that he did manage to avoid the 4. Well, no problem potting the 2. And no problem potting the 3. The problem is where he has to leave himself to play that 4. And the line that he has in this 3 ball would suggest that he's going to come to here, or he's going to try and get across the table and up. But I don't think that's a great ball to try and get good on that 4 ball. It looks well, he's trying to get there. Needs a bit of luck. And well, I wouldn't say that is pretty, but he can certainly put Bankster in trouble here. He can nail him. Well, again, that is not great, because Bankster can jack this up, jump that, and actually pot the 4. Well, it's gone in, and he's got a shot in the 5. Well, this is his most important shot of the night so far. He needs to avoid the 9, and he needs to get around the table, or he needs to take his medicine and just go across table to the right and leave an awkward cut in the 6 to take this to hill. He might be better not trying to do too much with the cue ball here, and he's doing the right thing. I mean, that is a sensible shot, because it's a difficult cut, but it's just the cut he needs to take this all the way, this match, and it is difficult from that distance. Oh, he's played it well, and we're going hill. Told you it wasn't over. Well, that's another kind of dud break, that. And look at where the 9 ball's gone. Well, first of all, it's a dry break for Bankster. Larry's got no shot in the 1, but he can make it tough for Bankster. He's trying to spin in behind the 2 and 3, played it perfectly. And Bankster is in a whole heap of trouble here. And if I was him, I would pot the 9. And leave the 2 and 3 where they are. Because I wouldn't be starting to move balls about. That would be my tactic. I would face the possibility of a 3 foul, but I certainly would not leave the 9 ball there. Now Larry has a choice. And Larry looks as if he's going for the 3 fills. And Larry has missed the combo. And Bankster could try drawing off the 1 into this 9. This is on. I don't even think he's looking at it, is he? Well, he's certainly trying to pot the 1. He's trying to draw to the 9. And he's missed it. And Larry, I think, can just get an edge in this 1 ball. Oh, that's worked out perfect. And this match is over. Larry's running the 2, comboing the 3 and 9. Oh, Larry's escaped big time and he knows it. He's got out of jail there in that one. Larry through in the final rack decider. And Bankster now, with a handicap, moves over to play Spectre Dawn in the semi-final match. And it's only 5 minutes to 10. So we might be finished a wee bit earlier tonight. So we're in and waiting. Stub, if it was me, I would have banned you for 3 days. So I would have kicked you out for 3 days, not 24 hours. So here we go with the lag for break, and well, the 1 in the top has just won it, and that's Bankster. And Bankster is getting 7 and out, which is a hefty handicap if he can get there. Against Spectre Dawn. Bankster's break though, again dry. Cue ball. Oh dear. Spectre Dawn treading in thin ice there. Well, Larry can go and have a coffee like me. He can go and settle down for, 10 minutes or so, have a coffee. Maybe get up, walk about, have a coffee. And then get ready for tonight's final. And Spectre Dawn comfortably through the first rack. Diced with death, almost scratching the middle pocket, but got away with it, and this rack is perfectly straight. And once again, the 5 ball eventually got to a pocket, but Spectre Dawn has no real shot. I mean, he's looking at a crazy cut in the 1 if he wants to try that, but he should just be probably playing a push out. He's going all out for the cut, you see, because the reason he's done that is because he does not think that Bankster can get to the 7 ball if he gets a chance. And he's perfectly right in thinking that. But what he also has to think of is somebody like Bankster having a wee bit of common sense and playing a shot like that. And that's where things can turn on you. And that's actually good to see, that Bankster's actually got a bit of common sense to take that chance and put Spectre Dawn in trouble. In fact, Spectre Dawn decided to play the deliberate foul and try and lock a ball up, and now he might be made to pay. But Spectre Dawn is hedging his bets that Bankster can't get the job done. And it'll be interesting to see how determined Bankster's going to be here, because that 3 ball, he's got to get good on it. That is not quite frozen to the rail, but he's got to play it nice. And remember where the 4 ball is. You just got to jab this in and kill the cue ball. And that is okay. Now the other problem is that the angle off this 4, he doesn't want to get right into the 4 and draw into the pocket. He's avoided that. And he's avoided the knuckle. And he's got a perfect little angle just to drop this 4 in. Now he's stunning this in. He doesn't need to. He can just let it run. That's fine though. Whatever you're comfortable with, because it's all about the execution. And we're all square. And that was 1 in the eye for Spectre Dawn there, because Bankster won that tactical battle in that rack, and he done well in running out, but he didn't do well there with that 6 ball jogging up just to push the cue ball into the pocket, and this rack's over. It's ball in hand for Spectre Dawn. The 2 balls already gone, and every other ball is about to go, because this table's pretty nigh perfect. Oh, Popman, I've just read your chat. What did I say it was? I said what it was earlier on. I've forgotten again. It's a Samsung. It's a Samsung A. No, wait a minute. It's a Samsung Galaxy A71, is it? I think that's what it is. Big, beautiful phone. But as I say, I've got nobody to talk to. I only use it for work, so I need some contacts so that we can get some texting action going. Well, this has now got a wee bit more dicey. Oh, it's got that 3D effect thing on it, which is quite cool. You see that sort of, if you rotate that picture, it gives you a 3D effect. My number's in my wallet. It's downstairs. Oh, 9 ball in the break, but then again, of course, I'm getting excited because I'm thinking it's the virtual 9 ball world championship, and I'm forgetting it's Friday night 9 ball. And Friday night 9 ball, it's spot money. Whenever the money ball goes down in the break, it comes back up on the table, and the player that's at the table remains at the table. I was actually, when I logged into Facebook, you know when you log into Facebook after a while, or whatever, it occasionally comes up and asks you to put your contact number in. I've never done it. I was going to put my mobile number in, but I backed out of it. Oh, aye, that's what I meant to say. You know, there's a bug in that phone. Ah, I knew you had something to say. There's an actual bug in this phone. I'll tell you what it is. You know in Android phones that you go into the settings, and then if you go to the about bit in the menu, it tells you what your phone number is. Well, see on mine, when I put my SIM card in it yesterday, once it was charged up, I put my SIM card in, and I went to the about bit, because I've got a card that came in a box that tells you your bloody phone number anyway. You know, it gives you that so that you've got it in your hand. I've got it in my wallet. But when you go into the about bit in the phone and it tells you about your SIM card, it also tells you your phone number. Well, on mine, it comes up saying unknown phone number, right? So I got on to BT last night and I phoned a guy at the helpline, and he said, yeah, what you need to do is you need to get somebody, you need to take your SIM card out, put it into somebody else's phone, and then put it back into your phone, and that should fix it. Well, you know the problem with this Samsung Galaxy phone? You can't get into the SIM card without the little release tool that comes with it, which is just like it's like a little metal coat hanger with a pin on the end of it, and you have to push that into the little slot that then releases the SIM card holder, the little drawer that comes out. There's like 2 slots for SIM cards. You can have 1 and 2 SIM cards, plus you've then got the slot for your micro SD memory card. So there's a bug on it. It doesn't tell me my phone number on the phone. And I certainly ain't taking that little pin thing with me anywhere, because it'll bloody get lost. It's so flimsy and small. I can live with that. As long as I've got the phone number in my wallet, I've got it at hand. Anyway, I'll be messing about with this phone for days on end just to get rid of certain apps that I don't need. There's a lot of crap on it. That obviously, you know, a lot of stuff that comes from Samsung. There's a good little app on it. What's it called? Let me have a look. Most of these fancy phones will probably come with this now. What's it called? It's called AR, and that's where it looks at your face and you can put things on your face. You can do it in video as well. You can have a little pink bunny rabbit face. Put your phone in the contacts list. Aye, my phone number. I was thinking of doing that, but I haven't got round to it yet. I've also got this software. What's it called? There's software on it that lets you talk to the phone and do things by voice as well. I can't remember what it's called. It's an app that comes with the phone, which is quite clever. And I've done a test with that, and it recognises my voice. There's some handy things on it, but as I say, there's a lot of crap that comes on board that you'll never probably use. And it's also got the weather on it. It tells me it's 10 degrees Celsius in Kilmarnock at the moment. Mind you, it was telling me that at 2 o'clock this afternoon. It's now down to 4 degrees. It's just refreshed. It's now 4 degrees Celsius outside, folks. Aye, Bixby, that's what it is. Yeah. So you can do things with the voice activation thing. And in fact, I spent about 3 hours updating half of the software on it last night. Every time I went back to look at the phone, it had another download. It was updating all the apps that were on it. Well, anything can happen in these matches, and especially if Baxter did what he did in that early rack there and turned it on its head. And look at the 9 ball. 9 ball is dangerously close to the corner. 2 ball is pretty much locked up next to it. The 2 ball, let's have a closer look. I don't think that's going. Well, see, the more you look at it, the more you convince yourself it does go. There's plenty of room to get past that 9. And Baxter again doing the right thing. you know, this is good common sense play here. If you've got the chance to lock the guy up, then do it. Put the pressure on. Just be aware. What was that? Just be aware that your voice is not stored on your new phone, but somewhere else. Same as when doing face recognition. What, you mean it's stored in a cloud somewhere? Well, it's definitely a 2-9 combo now. And we are going hill. And a couple of balls in the break for Bankster, and he is sitting. Oh, I thought that was a 1 ball there. It's not. Well, one of them was his money ball. The 7 ball has come up. He's not really got a shot in the 1. He should be looking for some sort of cover if he can get it. Oh, he's played the cut and he's overcut it. And what's more, he hasn't got luck there and ran into a ball up table. He's come back down. And this is Spectre Don's chance to bail himself out a hole here. Now, has he gone through far enough to get this comfortably? Well, not really, considering where the 6 ball is. He's going to have to play this well. Needs to miss the 8. Oh dear, the 8's pushed on. Oh, I don't think he can get that. Can he? Does he think he can see enough of that to get the edge and hit it enough? Well, we're going to find out. Yes, he can. And that's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. So Spectre Don is going to get out of jail. And Bankster is unlucky. Put up a good fight. Such a short race to 4. And Spectre Don goes through. So, well, here we are. It is, what time's that? It's just 10 past 10 tonight. And we are at tonight's final in a race to 9 for Friday night 9 ball. And it's between Larry and Spectre Don. I'm going to jump in straight away. And Larry's keen. He's already in. Well, you see, Bankster there, I thought Bankster was pretty sensible in most of his shots. And that's somebody who's a lower rated player actually with a bit of common sense about them. And I like to see that. What's it got there? What was Spectre done? I reckon Larry will be getting probably round about the 8 ball, I would imagine. But yeah, I do like to see players, even though they don't have an impressive rating, if you go by numbers, to see somebody actually using their head now and again is actually pretty good. and he was unlucky. He could have easily won that in the end, that match, making use of that handicap. It's all very well getting a handicap, but if you're absolutely useless and no good at potting the odd ball here and there and using your head, then the handicap doesn't give you any benefit whatsoever. All it gives you a benefit is banging something and something going in. But I don't think that's the case for Bankster. I think he's a level well above that, and can only improve. Well, Spectre Don's probably away, maybe getting a coffee or a cup of water or something, same as I was. In fact, that's a good idea. I'll just go and wash my coffee cup while this match gets underway. I'll be back in a minute. Right, I'm back. So what's Larry getting? Just what we thought. He's getting the 8 ball. So, Spectre Don getting first shout here. There you go, there's my number. Now you're going to have to be quick, or the other thing is you're going to have to re-watch the stream till you actually see it. That's my phone number. Now I'm reading what Miasma said there. No, that is right enough. He certainly would not, he wouldn't mess about with the database that much to actually fix that. But now the game's been going so long, to actually, that would be a major change in the algorithm or whatever the hell it is that he sets. But it would be fair. You shouldn't have players that are 2,200 be given a handicap to anybody higher than them. Sorry, I'll say that the other way around. You shouldn't have anybody who's higher than 2,200 given something to somebody who's 2,200, if you know what I mean. It's not fair. I think that's where the handicapping is wrong. I mean, there's no way that Larry should be given anything or getting anything from Spectre Dawn, and vice versa. So, all square, one rack all. I mean, the way also to look at it is, and I think somebody mentioned something similar to it earlier on, is that a player like Larry, who's getting the 8 ball, he's only ever going to gain of that if he has some sort of combo in 8 early in the rack. Other than that, he's going to run to the 8 anyway, and probably run to the 9 after it. So it's not of any great advantage to him. Who was that joined and said hello there? The chats went up and I've missed him. Was it Jugi Bob? I think it was. Good evening. You're a bit late to the party. We're here at the final, but you're welcome. Spectre Dawn's got another one of these little ones. Got to just find that pace, and the pace is good because he's going right across table for a good line on the 3 ball. Well, there's one other way to look at it, and that's where Stubb fails week after week. Stubb has to get past this thing with numbers and just put it out of his head and play the table for what it is. It doesn't matter what handicap he's given to what level of player. If he does his part of the deal, then he's not missing when he shouldn't be. And that's the difference. If you play the game in the table and not the handicap, then you'll probably achieve a lot more doing it. Rather than getting sloppy and giving your opponents chances they shouldn't have had in the first place, and then blaming it in the handicap when you should be blaming it in yourself for playing, taking liberties and not actually getting the job done. If these guys with the 2,300 and 2,400 handicap ratings, if we're grading them as professional players, then professional players at that level, when they come to the table and there's a shot, they should be running the table. End of. You know, the conversation need go no further. And if they don't run the table, and the other guy comes in and pots the 1 ball he needs to win the rack, then that's tough. But that at this level you shouldn't be missing. If you've got an open table or a cluster, then you should be able to deal with it and get the job done. That's the level I would expect of you. And that's the level I would expect in the remainder of this 9-ball World Championship. It's getting even more out of line. And again, you know the old saying, you keep going to the well, you're going to run out at some point. And Larry's ran out there. He's run out of running, and he's run out of shape, and it caught him out. And now Spectre Dawn with a 2-1 lead, looking to get right down below onto this 8-ball. And the angle's good, the line is good, the pace is good. The cue ball's nailed to the rail, which isn't good. But other than that, it was fine. But he's still got a reasonable angle he can pinch just to punch it through. In fact, he's overhit that by a country mile, because I don't believe he was playing to go over this side of the 9. I think he wanted to stay the other side, but I think he's hit it too hard. And Larry might have a glimmer here. Might not be much. And Spectre Dawn, like so many times, gets out of a problem with the thin cut. And he now has a 2-rack lead, 7 ball in the break. No real shot, I don't think, in the 1, but I think he can just skid that through behind the 4 and keep the cue ball there or thereabouts. And that'll be good enough to put Larry in trouble. Yeah, Larry was clutching at straws there, trying to get a jump shot at that distance. So Spectre Dawn gets the reward for playing the sensible shot. A lock-up safety has yielded him his ball in hand chance, and I think he's just come far enough to see the 3. Now what does he do here? Just roll it through and leave the slightly angled cut in the 4. Oh, in fact he can brush. No, he's missed the 8. That will do. He's looking good. This is only a bit more angle than he would like on this 5 ball, but he's got all the room in the world just to stay top side of that 6 so that he can put it into the middle. Needs to slow down a bit though. Well, that's still not a problem. He's got a good line just to run through and across for the 8. No problems at all. So Spectre Dawn is now stretching his lead. And it's going to go to 4-1. And Larry already with work to do to get back into this. Free ball, middle pocket, left side. Cue ball running up table. Nicely sitting on the 1. 2 ball over left side. Well, this rack's over, I'm afraid, Larry. I don't give you much hope of having a look at this table. Because Spectre Dawn is just going to nurse this 2 ball into this corner pocket down the rail. Get the cue ball out into the table. And he's just going to have to cheat this in. I don't know whether he wants to try and get it clean, but it will go in no problem. But he has to just roll through far enough to make sure he gets a good sight in the 5. You know what I would do, miasma? I would unkick him and I would kick him for another 24 just to make it longer. And that would annoy him even more. There you go. Because the more he keeps begging, the more I would do that and just stretch it even longer. Just to annoy him even more. Just to twist the knife a bit more. Well, Spectre Dawn, where can he go wrong here? Not really. Well, it looks as if I'm going to get to my bed earlier tonight. Unless Larry starts to wake up and then we'll go on for another hour. But 5-1 to Spectre Dawn. That looks as if it's breaking slightly right to left, that rack. Well, that 6 ball looked into the pocket and decided it didn't like it and stayed up. And it's given Larry a chance. That 1 ball is tight. It's extremely tight. It just goes and no more. But again, Larry's not getting a great deal of joy in finding good shape. He's in trouble here. And the only other thing that's, well, I was going to say a bit of a lifeline, but when you look closely at that 8 ball, it isn't, because the 8 ball goes. So if Larry can't get this in the hole or get it safe, this rack's going to be over as well. Well, he's got the 2, but once again, he can't get the cue ball to be able to see the 3. And the danger here is he doesn't want to kick from that side because the cue ball's going in the hole every day of the week. And if he gets this too good on that side, it's going in the hole as well. And he's got the spin on it. He has to be careful. He's managed to miss it. Tried to chip it in. But he hasn't got it. And so Spectre Dawn does have his chance. He should already have looked at that 8 ball and realised as it goes. He doesn't need to meddle with it. He doesn't need to touch it. Well, he has done. He's opened him up. He's still okay though. Didn't need to. And it should, well, it's an odds-on certainty he's going to run out for 6-1. Well, this is another little tester. Again, does you want to go full-blooded for this 8 ball, or just drop it in and roll through for the 9, either down table towards this bottom right or into the middle? Well, he's holding it for the middle, and not a problem for 6-1. Where's my bottle went to? Oh, my other one's empty. I need to open a reserve bottle. Well, Spectre Dawn, the 5 ball has gone in the break. Looks as if he's looking to push. Or is he? Is he going for the cross bank? Or is he trying to drop this in dead weight into the middle? Well, it wasn't dead weight. He's played it at the right pace to get the cue ball out. Now, what does he think here? He's trying to draw off the 2, play the combo in 8. He's played it at a great pace. Unfortunately, that was always going to be the issue. With the angle it was hitting at 8, it was always coming off the rail. But he can still chip this in. Can just get there. It's going to be a bit of a lottery as to whether he's going to. Well, he's decided he's not risking it. And the 2, well, if you look at it from that line, and you were playing from this line, it would actually go, and it certainly goes now. Larry again, just not getting the pace right, and that's just a perfect line to hit the 2 and pot it and get the cue ball over left side. And of course, unless Spectre Dawn, unless he decides to pot this 4 and leave the cue ball here, he's going to have a tough cut down the rail. The angle he's got now, he's got to come inside slightly and try and get a good line to the rail to make this 6-7. Needs to keep running, and he won't be in any better position than that. The only thing has got to be the pace, because he doesn't want that 6 ball to squirt into the table very much, and he's played it perfect, and it's 7-1. Played that well in running this rack out, did everything right. And well, this is a big ask for Larry to get back into this, but again, he has a chance from the dry break. The 6 ball's hanging. He's got a shot in the 1. In all honesty, he's going to have to jack into this 1 ball if he wants to keep a hold for a shot in the 2. He's going to have to, yep. And that's where the mistake gets made, because he's had to dig into the cue ball to stun across to have a shot in the 2, and that's what causes the miss in the 1. And Snakes has arrived in the room and starting to distract the players. He must be well out his head by now. So Spectre Dawn looks as if he's about to jack up. Now how's his luck? Well, his luck's not bad. That's exactly what Larry needs. Absolutely no shot in the 2. Trailing 7-1 and a hit and hope. And all he's done is just play it into play. So the 3-6, keep the 3 near the pocket, just a gentle roll to it. Well, just a draw up the table. Anywhere up past the middle pocket, that is about all you need to do. Well, he's left it short of that, but could have done with getting up another foot. But he'll have a good line coming down this right side of the table. He's got a little bit of inside right on it just to make sure he does come down and hold a line good enough in the 5. And this just needs a little drawy stun. In fact, he didn't play anything like that, just a plain stun was good enough. Now where's the 9? Well, I don't see anything that can go wrong here, other than he would maybe end up on the top side of the 9 as we look. He doesn't want to go there, but he's got plenty of room to avoid all of that. Again, the natural way he would go would be pot the 8 and just run up that way. That's the way the cue ball would generally go, unless you do something with the cue ball when you don't really need to. He might be coming back the way, but he's still going up the same line just to get to there, the head of the arrow, and that will do. So it's now Spectre Dawn on the hill, leading 8 racks to 1. 3 ball goes in. I'll tell you something, he's got no shot in the 1, but I can guarantee you Larry's not going to have 1, because he's going to nail him to the 2. That's always on the cards here. But this is where Spectre Dawn struggled with his touch, and he didn't fancy playing that. He didn't fancy playing the little roll through there. He went the other way, because the reason he went the other way is because he could play it at a speed that he was more comfortable with than playing the little delicate one. Because I've seen him mess up a few of those. What the hell Snake's doing now? Is he trying to be a proper arsehole or what? The guy's a loon, so he is. Pissed out his head. Once again, Larry's managed to find the gap between the 4 and the 9 to make it an easy jump for Spectre Dawn. This match is over, because if Spectre Dawn pots the 1, which I fully expect him to do, he's going to be staring at the 2. And then all he needs to do is just take care of business. He can stun between the 9 and the 7. He doesn't want to stun too much, because he'll scratch in that bottom left hand corner as we look. But yeah, he's just managed to stun through the gap, and now I think he wants to make sure that he just puts a wee, well, maybe he's coming back the way I would have went forward with a wee bit of English, but again, he's doing it a way that he prefers doing it. Still get to the same place. Well, Larry's hardly had a look in, to be honest with you. He's not had many chances. But that's mainly because what I said earlier, because Spectre Dawn's doing what's expected of him. He's expected to be running tables when they're all there for the taking, and he's pretty much done that. And that then it makes no difference what the handicap was in this match, because Spectre Dawn's doing what a player who is 2,200 or 2,300 should be doing, and that's seeing a table open and running it out. So Spectre Dawn, a devastating win by 9 racks to 1 in tonight's Friday Night 9 Ball. Well, thanks guys for watching. Do stay safe, take care, and I'll see you all on Sunday night for the big match in the Virtual 9 Ball World Championship. We'll have a quick look at the bracket and see what went where. The 5th and 6th players got 100 and whatever it was, 145 $. 4th got 195. 3rd got 260. The runner-up got 390, and the winner gets 785. And the winner again was Spectre Dawn. That is it, guys. I'm off to bed. I'm back up at 4:30 tomorrow morning. I'll bid you good night and take care. And thanks again for watching. And remember before we go, remember to watch the rerun of the video, and you can get my mobile number. You can you can be in my contacts list. I'll see you later.